Welcome to the AMA. We're a little bit early. Um, so yeah, just kind of getting situated here. This feels a little close. Looks like we are gonna be able to be live on both Substack and Instagram. So if you uh favor one or the other of those, we can do whatever. So I have two. So check this out. Here I have the Substack camera, and here I have the Instagram camera, and I have two microphones, and they're both decent, sure, um, good. You know, one's an MK88 and one's a S SV7. So hopefully this will sound okay. We'll get started here for real in a few minutes. I originally pitched this as being 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Might tip this guy down a little bit so that you can see the guitar a little more. That's a little better, right? You can see my tasty licks for when I'm shredding. So please feel free to put any questions in the chat. And yeah, today I do have at least one question that I got ahead of time, and so I would like to answer that. And then if you have any other questions, put them in the chat. I will try to keep an eye on the Instagram chat, which is on my phone. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can open it up on the computer as well, just to be able to read it a little better with my old eyes. But in the meantime, I was going to look at the song request. Your custom song for me each year is how do you manage to loop up something so quick and make it so good? Oh, I'm just incredibly talented. That's all. Just raw talent. That's all. No biggie. No, I've become sort of I've got kind of a good system going for the custom songs as far as to be honest, it's a lot of what you give me that makes it good. Like what you write um in the questionnaire. Yeah. Let's see. A to Z. So we'll look at um oh wait, do we have any for Austin? We do not have any for Austin. Austin's just too cool for school, man. I guess so. All right, so um Club Data in Dallas. Looking at what we got here for requests. If you if you uh if you don't know, on this tour, I start tour on Thursday. Well, actually, I start on Wednesday. My kids and I are going on tour starting on Wednesday. We're driving down to Dallas. First show's in Dallas, and I have opened up a request line that don't put your requests in the chat here. Don't put your requests in the chat here. Go and look at my, all of my here. I wonder if I can even find the link for you guys and post it in the chat. I don't know if I can. Can I? Well, you're gonna have to do a little research. So go to one of my previous posts that is about the request line, and you can fill that out, and all of your wildest dreams will come true. That's not true. You'll just I'm just taking requests for these songs, and uh so for Dallas, I've gotten more requests for Dallas songs to play in Dallas than anywhere else on the tour so far. Okay, so people are starting to show up. Hello, everybody. My name is Matt. Um, I do this every Monday, whether I'm on tour or not. And this is a place where you can ask me questions and I can play songs and I can, we can just talk about whatever's on your mind. Uh, and then if you have requests, you can put them in here. I don't end up playing that many songs here, but what I really need to do if I'm going to play anything is I need to learn the songs that are in the request line. So if you go to my previous posts and you look up the request line, you can fill that out. And then, so yeah, there's a lot for Dallas. One that came up twice in here is the song "Confidence Man," which is not something I've played in a while. So I will try to play it now. And this is one of those things where it's entirely possible that I'm gonna fuck it up. So that's why we're all here. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and play this song, and then I have something I want to try and talk about. So this is a song called "Confidence Man." That is the title track from my first solo record that came out in 2008. Swear when you say at the end of the day, it isn't just the same old song. You got new chords I ain't heard before, and I'm ready to sing along. But if the stars don't align in the sky, or the floor falls out when we try, you don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. List of abuses, too many excuses, and then for weeks I was alone. No point in talking if I may be walking, I can't get you into the phone. But after these weeks have gone by, I might as well give you a try. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. Tell me I should just relax, we'll both be in Cadillacs. Sounds good until the end of the year, when you disappear. La da da da, la da da da, la da da da. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. La da da, la da da da, la da da da. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. La da da, la da da da, la da da da. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. La da da, la da da da, la da da da. You don't have to worry, baby, I'm your confidence man. All right, so now you guys are gonna have to tell me how that sounded, because I'm using two different microphones, and so I'm hoping that it sounds okay. But yeah, a lot of people are waving. Hello, waving. Hello. Uh, who's your favorite Adventure Zone character? Okay. All right, sounded good. All right, good, 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 good. Sounds good on Instagram. Yes, fuck yeah. I finally, after weeks and weeks and weeks of doing this, I finally gotten to the point where I can actually like make this sound decent. Good. Okay. So, I posted a video earlier today that was of me and Lily and Jersey, who are my oldest and youngest child, respectively. And they are my backup band for this upcoming tour, at least for the first half of this set. The way this set is going to work out is that the first half is about 12 songs that I play with the kids, and they Lily plays bass and sings, and Jersey plays piano and banjo and sings. Doesn't play the piano and banjo at the same time. That would be kind of insane. But and then the back half of the show after that is all these requests that I've been taking. And so if you're interested in putting in a request, there are a few rules that you can read about in the request form, but you can basically go to one of my previous posts. I should have prepared and found a way to put it in the chat, but if someone wants to put the link in the chat, that would be helpful. Um, and so that's what I'm doing on that tour. And I do this every week, and I'm finally apparently getting to the point where I can make it look fairly decent and sound fairly decent. So that's my goal. And then earlier today, I posted a video of the kids and I practicing, and Lily was talking about how uh, all of her ringtones are all Griffin McElroy songs. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, then disregard what I'm about to say. And if you know who Griffin McElroy is, then you will know that we are, as a family, fans of both my brother and me, and the Adventure Zone. And so someone asked in here, and I think they were probably making the joke of who your favorite Adventure Zone character is. And my favorite Adventure Zone character is kind of a deep cut. It's this, well, it's not really a deep cut. My favorite Adventure Zone character is probably Duck Newton. So that's all I will say about that from the Amnesty arc. But if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, it's not really relevant to the live stream or to anything going on with the tour. I mean, I'm really realizing that, now that I have this in two angles, because I'm over here and I'm over here, that I need a beard trim, something fierce before we leave for the tour. So hopefully I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Mm. But uh, so the two things. One is I saw someone posted here on Touch, how do you get started as a teenager? I can only speak to how I got started as a teenager, which was just I started hanging out with people who were older than me, and started just playing in bands. I started playing shows when I was 15. I don't really have much advice currently for how to get started as a teenager, other than to like practice a lot, play with as many people as you can, play as many shows as you can, and play with as many different people as you can. So I got this Instagram question the other day that I guess yesterday, and all it said was, "What do you do when things get really dark and things get really heavy?" And I was kind of taken aback by it because I don't usually get questions like that. I get personal sounding like stuff that's kind of like heavy like that. Usually, like at shows, people will tell me stuff like that. But the I guess here's how I'll answer this question. So when things get dark and difficult for me, and if you are familiar, my whole record that I just put out, which is called The Salton Sea, which is what I'm going on tour for, this week, is about me going into this really extreme depression and really extreme darkness that I was self-medicating with alcohol to the point where I ended up in the hospital, and I had to get sober, and I've been sober for almost 3 years now. So that's great. But to that that depression and that darkness doesn't necessarily like leave you when you quit drinking. You just have to learn different ways to deal with it. So I do still get that darkness, but uh especially lately, the world seems pretty fucking bonkers right now. Or at least America feels pretty fucking bonkers right now. And the things that I do to keep up with that, just to answer this person's question, then I'll play another song because I don't know how interesting this actually is. But I try to keep a routine. I journal in the morning and I meditate in the morning, and I try to do yoga like at least once a day, just for like 10 minutes. Each one of those things takes about 10-20 minutes. And those tend to be good for like centering myself. I try to exercise and just get outside whenever possible, and just try to have a community, like I have something of a recovery community. I really actually, as weird as it sounds that we're having this sort of like, digital relationship right now, I really do enjoy coming to these every Monday night and just sort of like getting feedback. Um, and so, I take a lot of solace in that. And I just really think that like if things are feeling tough, then like finding people to share the burden with is good. So I don't know how heavy that came across. I wanted to acknowledge that person's question and that, I don't know. Things can be okay. That's all. Um so in light of that, not in light of it, but because of that, I want to play this is a song that was requested for the show in Dallas anyway, and this is kind of like um the sort of like mantra for whenever my sort of mantra for whenever things are getting dark. And it's called "Don't Let the Bastards Get You Down," and it's requested by a helper dog named Argus. So. So all the hearts are breaking over this. It's a testament to targets that we miss. And if the highest mountain is a personal pursuit, I wish the best to you. Better to be last than be too late. Stronger to have stumbled and recovered from mistakes. These days I stumble cause these words, they have no weight. But I get up again. Don't let the bastards get you down. Don't let the bastards get you down. 'Cause they can go to hell. So I can disappoint or disappear. This thought I'm painfully aware. Sometimes a lack of options is the drive that keeps me here. That's no way to be. Don't let the bastards get you down. Don't let the bastards get you down. 'Cause they can go to hell. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so I need to look at if there were any questions in the Instagram chat. That kind of answer is probably why most of us turn that songs. Oh well, okay. I'm good. I hope so. I want this to be a place where um we can talk openly about that sort of thing. We all need each other, especially now. Are there any songs by other people that you like to cover at home or just for fun? I don't play a lot of covers because I write a lot of my own songs, and I find that it's honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, but it's easier for me to write my own song than it is for me to learn somebody else's song, and I don't know why that is. I think it's a memorization thing. And so I don't play a lot of covers just in my free time. And so that's not really lately. I will say at band practice with Jersey and Lily, Jersey has learned how to play Short People by Randy Newman on the piano and just plays it all the goddamn time. And it gets stuck in my head. So there's that. Cool. Someone's putting together a Get Up Kids covers record, they said here. Or is it just an On a Wire covers record? That would be interesting. That record turns 25 next year. Um, so that would be cool. Is there a backstory to the song Ann Arbor? Yes, it's a love song that was written by not written by. It was written by the lyrics were written by me, but a friend of mine who lived in Michigan was dating a girl in Ann Arbor, and I honestly just kind of thought it was funny to think of Ann Arbor, Michigan, as being someone's name, so that's why I put an E on it. So it's Ann Anne. And then as soon as I did that, people started coming up to me and saying that I spelled Ann Arbor wrong. And I was like, no, I didn't. I was trying to do sort of a double entendre thing that it's supposed to be a person's name. So there you go. Do, 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 do. Let's see if there's anybody over on Subo Stacko. Was there ever a point where you almost quit and just did a 9 to 5 job, or did you try a 9 to 5 and hate it? So in 2012, yeah, that's right. I did a record called Mayday that was supposed to be sort of like, in my mind, it was going to be kind of the end of my time as a musician. I really was really burnt out, and I really didn't want to do it anymore. And so I put out this record called Mayday that, is sort of a breaking up with breaking up with that stage of my life. In theory, anyway, that's what it was supposed to be. And so I ended up getting off tour and then going to work on a farm, at my friend's farm, and then working on a food truck because the two other things that I knew I was good at were uh, gardening and cooking. And so that's what I decided to do. And I really enjoyed both of those things. I really enjoy cooking for people and I really enjoy farming. But it's just not during that time. I kind of realized that like I need to find the things in my actual career that I really do enjoy and that make me happy. And so I will say I keep bringing it back to this, but like doing stuff like this is one of the things that I really do enjoy doing. Doing things like the living room shows is something that I really enjoy doing. And so uh, and that's when I started the podcast that I had for a little while because I wanted to talk to people more and I needed more like connection. I mean, this is all about, storytelling and connection and it's, finding the people because we do need each other, especially now. Other than that, I haven't had like a real job since I was 20, when I worked at a record store. You find yourself doing more or less songwriting when touring. Does it kind of inspire writing in a different kind of way perspective? I don't usually write songs on tour, uh, just because there's not enough time. And when there is time, like if we're on a Get a Kids tour and we're in a bus and I have a lot more free time, I then don't have privacy. So uh, there's a lack of privacy and a lack of free time on tour, in all forms. And so I tend to spend my free time on tour uh, walking around the cities that I'm in and like exploring them and getting lost. On this tour that's coming up that starts this week, it's in a van, so 4 hours of my day is going to be spent driving. And so I don't write a lot on tour. I have to like make time to sit down and write songs when I'm home. And so that's what I try to do. Do. In Excess cover is very good. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad that you like it. We should do something with that at some point. Do. Any chance of a 25th anniversary on a Wire tour? No, I don't. I think we've maxed out the whole album tour thing. Uh, and we want to do something to celebrate the 25th anniversary of On a Wire, but I don't think it will be a full album tour because we just did that for a year and a half with something I'm home about, and it was fucking exhausting. So yes, so it's a covers cool. Well, if someone's putting together a covers album, that's really great. You'll have to send that to me when it's done. I'll I'll send it to the Get Up Kids social media guy, who's my friend Joe, and have him post something about it. So, um, yeah. Any other questions here? Nope, no more questions there. So let's look at the um, list of requests for the upcoming tour. This is not a J45. This is a Taylor, actually, and I don't know the brand or the model number, but it looks a lot like a Gibson. So I got to get back to the song requests. Where is it? It's in, for fuck's sake. Okay, here we go. For Dallas, we got Bastards. We got Confidence Man. We got another request for Confidence Man. Polish a Broken Glass. I'm gonna play with the kids. So, got one for Spoils of the Spoiled, which is a song that gets requested a lot when I do solo shows. It's a New Amsterdam song off the record Worse for the Wear that came out in 2003. I don't play it that often because honestly, it's one of those handful of New Amsterdam songs that I kind of know that are kind of like in my back pocket a little bit as far as like songs that I know I can always play if I like need to fill time or something like that, which sounds kind of gauche, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna play it now, just so I can run through it, and because it was on the request list for Dallas. Still no requests for Austin. So I hope that people will come to the show in Austin, even if you don't have any requests. But then we'll move on to San Antonio and Houston as far as requests goes. So this is a song called "The Spoils of the Spoiled," and there's a place that's mentioned in this song that's called the Masquerade, which was a club or is still a club, but this was the old Masquerade in Atlanta, and I'm going to be playing in Atlanta on this tour. So here we go. It was honor among the faves, the only truth I could believe. When the lies applied to me and mine, better left unsaid. You could write the hit parade outside the masquerade. The headache comes in tidal waves, the spoils of the spoiled. Spoils of the spoiled. The lines of history became the scenery, and it's strictly an accessory. It's an image to uphold. But it's all in fun and sin until someone calls it in. The cycle comes around again, but I'm older now. And don't you know that I figured out the antidote, and it overwhelms, engulfed in smoke. But it's all we can to cope. Goddamn these idle hands, as hindsight can, our hopes and plans are unfulfilled. So overwhelming. There's a proper place and time, so the bags under your eyes, they don't lie, they don't lie, they don't lie. Oh, cool. All right, back to the questions. Do. What are some of your favorite songs to play that you have written? Um, you know, I think this is a common thing that I think a lot of artists probably don't say enough, but like your favorite song is almost always the newest one, the most recent thing that you've written, just because it's like fresh in your head and it's exciting and stuff like that. So my favorite thing currently is playing stuff off of the new record, Salt and Sea, which is out now, which is why I'm going on tour this week. So any types of venues add more pressure, the larger rooms or smaller rooms, and is there a venue you played that you've never thought you would? Um, Pressure, no. I don't really feel pressure anymore. Uh, you know what? I don't think I ever felt pressure performing. I felt nervous, but it was more because it was like my own anxiety about just performing in general, or that a kind of imposter syndrome, which, even after playing as many shows as I have, I still do get from time to time. Um, Pressure, I don't think, like, I try not to take the whole thing too seriously to the point where I feel like uh, it's gonna like fuck up my career or something like that. Because I mean, and I'll give you an example. Like a lot of the shows on this tour that's coming up this week are in rooms. Like I haven't done a solo tour in a club setting in almost 10 years, 2017, and that was with Dan Andriano from Alkaline Trio. And so, at least half the draw is his fans, because you'd think there'd be more crossover, but there isn't that much. So, some of these rooms are probably too big. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's, but there's no way to like really gauge, you know, how many people are gonna come out. So I don't feel pressure about that. I think if the room is big and it's not full and there's not that many people there, my my job as the performer is to try and make everybody have as good a time as they possibly can, and to make them feel like the show's sold out, even if there's 10 people there or something like that. And then also I have to like kind of psych myself up for that too, of just like going like, it really doesn't matter how many people are at the show as far as like my performance goes, because like whether it's playing for one person or playing for 1,000 people, I still have to do the same thing and do it to the same level. So I hope that answers your question. I Pressure is not really what it's been. Not to be negative, but there ever a show where you said "fuck these people" and wanted to walk off stage, and if so, what happened? There's been plenty of shows when I've said "fuck these people," but I've never stormed off stage in like a temper tantrum. I've done things like been a little snarky and uh, you know, said some condescending things. Maybe I have a couple of songs in my repertoire. Uh, you know, the that are kind of like songs about playing bad shows that I sometimes will whip out if I'm playing a bad show, or just, I mean, sometimes it's just it's a live environment, it's an organic thing. And sometimes people just aren't there. And then sometimes you get a show where like you're doing a favor. Like I did a private show playing for like a couple, but it was in a public setting, and the couple were the only people who knew who I was and who knew the songs, but they were so excited and nobody else gave a shit. Like the whole room, the whole bar. And so I just, played to them, and that's what I have to do. So it's not a negative question. It's just it's part of the gig. It's kind of like the way comedians talk about bombing and how like that's part of like the experience and like something that you learn from. And so I have learned that like even if I'm having a bad show and there's a certain element or a certain number of people in the room that are kind of like ruining it, I try to focus on the people that are there that are excited. And usually we can have a connection and kind of have, a moment together. So That was a good question, though. So let's see what are the ones over on the gram. Talking about this covers record. There's actually several. I'm not trying to like talk down on your thing, but there's like at least 4 Get Up Kids covers records that I'm aware of. 2 in Japan, but and 1 in South America. But my favorite Get Up Kids cover, I think, is Jer from Ska Tune Network, who I met recently at Fest in Gainesville, did a ska version of Holiday that I thought was fucking fantastic. Oh, and then there was this Australian band that did a full-on country version of Red Letter Day with like pedal steel and everything that I was just like, damn, that I'd like to do that someday. Do, 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 do. Questions. What's the story behind Lion and the Lamb from 2004? How do I explain this song? That song. So, oh, you know what? That one's actually a little bit easier because I was actually thinking of a different song called Lost in the Light that is a little bit harder to explain. Lion and the Lamb was written during the W years, and it was kind of a song about like, war for oil, which I thought maybe we had gotten past, but apparently not now that we're dealing with this whole Venezuela situation. But it ended up being on a record that Fat Records put out called, or did Fat put it out or did Epitaph I think Fat put it out. That was called Rock Against Bush, which, I still think W was a terrible president, but he seems kind of quaint at this point. Anyway, let's see. I got a request. Okay, well, here's one that like this is always fun when people request a song that I do like really am excited to play. And this also goes along with the other question too about like the newer stuff always being the stuff you're most excited to play. So this new record, Salt and Sea, that came out in November, which is the record that I'm touring to promote now. It's about my time hitting rock bottom, going into recovery, going into the hospital, getting out, going into recovery. And then one of the things on my journey in this was that I ended up in a recovery group that was very religion centric. Not supposed to be. It's supposed to be kind of a spirituality thing, but I do live in the Midwest, and we get even things that aren't necessarily Christian end up kind of being Christian anyway. So, and that didn't work for me because I like to refer to myself as a recovering Catholic, but I do find that I need to believe in something. I just don't believe in this sort of like ritual of prayer in the sense of like I use meditation as sort of that sort of thing. So anyway, this is a song about that. It's called I Don't Pray. It's on the new record. I don't pray, still I believe. Wait, I have to remember how the fucking words go. Don't pray. Don't pray. Okay, here we go. Don't pray, still I believe in a force or a spark or a star that's bigger than me. These days I'm gonna recite, won't cast any spells to repel this cloud in the night. Some say it's the only cure, but I'm not totally sure. Don't pray, gonna bleed. My history's full of transgressions I can't forgive. These days, don't need to explain. It's the suffering sound of the silence that eases the pain. Some say you'll come around. We'll just have to wait you out. You choose. I almost forgot that line is sort of an afterthought. Don't pray, still I believe the strength that I need to survive is buried in me. Woo! That was I'm glad that we're doing this because it gives me a chance to like run through shit, and I fucked the lyrics up of that pretty bad. I got the sentiment across, I think, but anyway, that's one of my favorite songs off the new record. So, have kids ever gotten mad at you for not bringing one of your solo songs to them? By the way, Slime is an amazing song, which I don't think you guys ever played live. We have played it live. We just don't very often. If they have gotten mad at me, they haven't told me that. So possibly, I don't know. Oh, hey, thanks, Nate. It's the guy who took the photo that's on the cover of my book. It was in 1998. Favorite band from Chicago? Oh, Jesus. What's my favorite band from Chicago? I'm tending to lead towards Braid, even though they're not really from Chicago. Naked Raygun comes to mind. That's an interesting one. I'll have to think about that. Chicago, the band Chicago, maybe? I don't know. Thank you for so many great gigs. You are welcome. Could you give a little insight into Lost in the Light? Yeah, it's kind of about being privy to some of the excesses of the music industry that I don't know, it's kind of a complicated one, but it's sort of like as things were as the band was getting more popular and things were kind of becoming more the only way I can explain it is that like things were starting to become they were starting to become less punk rock and more rock and roll as far as like venues we were playing and the people that were coming out and some of the people that were hanging around and some of the activities that people started getting into, myself included. And so that's sort of like what that's about. And it's kind of complicated because I don't know if I can really like talk about it in too much detail because it's some of it's not really it's a time that was like really kind of weird and it's kind of during like the big like vagrant boom of like 2001 2002 and that was sort of like strange to me that was that things were just getting so blown out of proportion and it wasn't anything bad necessarily, it was just sort of like kind of odd. Favorite anniversary song? Crooked Crown, I really like a lot. I think that's a really fantastic song. I Don't Pray. I just played I Don't Pray. Forever Leaving. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Beauty song, thank you. Thank you very much. Barrymore's. Why you don't tour in Belgium or Germany in solo? Um, to be honest, it's expensive and it's hard to book a tour and go somewhere if you A, don't know if people are going to show up, and B, just if you're going to pay that kind of upfront money to go there. So I don't know. I'm going to the UK, um, but that might be as close as I get to Belgium and Germany on a solo tour because it's just not financially. Uh, I don't want to leave town and go that far away and lose money, and I don't think that's bad necessarily. But maybe I'll get offered a festival or something like that, and that'll bring me over. So yes, I know that Braid are from Champaign. That's why I said they weren't from Chicago. Next songs, Barrymore's or Union Trip. All right, so we're getting a lot of requests for Barrymore's. So I'll play that. So this is a song. This is the second song off of the new record. The new record's called The Salton Sea, and this is a song called Barrymore's. That if you know anything about the Barrymore family, which is Drew Barrymore's parents, grandparents, great grandparents, they're a family of actors, and often many of them ended up with substance abuse problems, alcoholism in general. And so I had this idea that maybe it would be a thing of when you have a really long night and you're like, oh man, we drank like whatever last night. And I thought we drank like Barrymore's last night because they that was sort of, if you're gonna talk about drinking to excess. Anyway, so this is a song on the new record that's sort of like the point at which drinking was still fun before it got dark. So it goes like this. We drank like Barrymore's until we fell over courtyards and corridors without getting older. No, the pictures and saints every hour of the day. The great got an escape. Dance like Barrymore's like nobody was watching. Tripped over cobblestones at every other haunted my home away home. When the cracks start to show, maiden of the road. Down from on high, clouds in my eyes, I lost the second line. We drank like Barrymore's and pictures of the past before the storm came rolling in, before the crash. I'm in love with Drew Barrymore. Okay. If Drew knows this song, it's so good song. I doubt that Drew Barrymore knows this song. Oh, cool. I'm glad that this is going. You guys seem to be enjoying it. Right. Hey, all right. So let's see what's going. I'm gonna go over to Substack. See if there's anything. No new questions in the Substack. So okay. Um, yeah, I somehow doubt that I'm on anywhere near Drew Barrymore's radar. So I also don't know if she would take offense to me talking about her family. But it's not. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. All right, let's look at the request line and see what are some other requests. If we get out of Dallas and we go to, are there any for Houston? None for Houston. That's man. All right. Oh, San Antonio. Let's see here. San Antonio. This will be the first time that I have ever. Oh, it's Confidence Man. Okay, I already played that. I have ever played solo in San Antonio, so I'm kind of excited about it because I like San Antonio. At least as far as like, uh, as far as I've been there. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I won't run away. Stay on the phone. Spoils. I played spoils. I do run away, maybe. Although someone requested confidence, man. Not confidence, man. Sorry, it has a similar vibe. My old man had a pistol. So we'll do that one. We'll do that, but first we'll check in on the questions. 15th anniversary of their rules is in 6 days. Were there any songs of that era that you wrote on acoustic guitar, or did your lyrics and vocals all come after instrumental? Rules was written as instrumentals that kind of like the jamming out. I mean, that sounds corny, but like we would get in a room together and like come up with like arrangements, and then I would write lyrics on top of that, which is how we write most of the stuff anymore. I don't think there's going to be a anniversary show of Rules because it's kind of a deep cut for people. Would you ever tour with Ryan Adams? Probably not. I don't get the impression that he's a very nice person. Can you tell me a little bit about All Eyes on the Lyre? That's my favorite. I don't remember what the song is. I'm so sorry. I got to get my Philly requests in, and no, I won't request that song. Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's possible one day an album with Dan Andriano. I did a split 7-inch with Dan Andriano where we covered Paul Simon's Cecilia, and then we wrote a song together called Gale that you can get on all the streaming services. Uh, uh, this is kind of funny. Someone is saying that they're gonna buy me Primanti Brothers in Pittsburgh, which I appreciate, but I don't think I can eat that on a show day and still sing without getting some sort of gastrointestinal distress. But they were saying that they owed me because they downloaded a record on Napster, and that's totally fine. You don't have to do that. You can come to the show and buy a record at the show. I would prefer that than buying me Primanti Brothers, because if you buy a record at the show, I won't um, have a big knot in my stomach when I'm trying to sing later. So, object that I adore in Asheville. I could possibly do that. Love You Smashing Pumpkins cover. Okay, so we'll do Pistol. You could have the whole world listen to one of your songs. Which would you pick? The whole world? Um, so there was this thing that a buddy of mine brought up. Do you remember when Shakira, I think it was the South African World Cup years ago, and Shakira did the theme song for it? And a buddy of mine, my buddy Rob Sukan of the band Kofax, said that she had a universal chorus because it didn't have any words in any language. It was just like, oh, like that, which means you can sing it in any language. So if I was going to think of a song that was uh, to be played all over the entire world, I guess I would go with From California because it's just got the la das in it. The la da, la da, 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 like that. I don't know that I have any other songs that have more like, oh, like that kind of stuff in it. So That's an interesting question, though. Um, Song you never get tired of playing. Currently, I don't. I like playing all the songs on the new record, and I've really enjoyed playing with my two kids, which is what we're doing on this tour that starts in 2 days. So if you want to come out and see me really enjoy myself, that sounded like I was kidding, but that really is like it's a lot of fun. Do you ever cameo in Reggie? Yes, I sang on the first two Reggie in the Full Effect records. Do you feel a little like the Partridge Family when touring with your kids? And do you feel lucky that your young kids want to hang out with you and share your passion? Just saying, it seems rare and awesome. Uh, I don't know that I feel like the Partridge Family. I like my kids, all three of my kids, as just as people. So we feel really comfortable with each other and we get along pretty well. I don't know that they want to hang out with me. I am, you know, kind of employing them. So there's that. And their band is going to be the opening band, but it feels normal to me in a weird sort of way because they've been musical um as long as I've known them, and the we just playing together has just always felt kind of natural, and like we know how to. It's interesting to hear us sing together because there's the whole, like, if you're not familiar with the term blood harmony, which is that people who are related tend to harmonize together better, and I have been finding that to be true, but even more than the actual like notes that we're hitting at the same time, our our rhythms are tighter. Like we tend to like lock in. This is hard to explain if you're not a singer, but like like the when you're harmonizing with someone, you're trying to like do things like roughly around like at the same time, but it might go like this, and we just tend to like lock in uh uh a little bit better. But yeah, blood harmony sounds metal as fuck, but it's really just like something that like country musicians talk about all the time. But I really have found it to be kind of true. I posted a video like 2 hours ago that was us rehearsing, and you can kind of hear that like their harmonies are kind of just like naturally in sync with my voice, and it's interesting. It's just it's not something that seems to have to be learned. It seems to be something that it just sort of, at least, I mean, it's something that has to be like honed, but not to like have to learn from scratch. So it's just kind of inherent. So Jesus Christ, it's almost 9. This has been flying by. Do your kids enjoy listening to any of your music? I don't know. Also, this is not a J45. This is a Taylor, though it does look like a J45. Um, you answered this already. What merch will be available at your shows? Lend me some salt and sea vinyl variants. They look great. So I haven't decided what. I have a couple copy. So okay, this is a very good question. On the tour, I'm gonna have the Salt and Sea, which is the new record, at least on one color of vinyl, and then I'm gonna have Never You Mind, which is the first New Amsterdam's record that I re-recorded uh, solo acoustic on uh, electric blue vinyl. And then I've got some shirts and some hoodies. And then I'm debating. I have a handful of the 4 different Salt and Sea vinyl variants that were exclusive to the Kickstarter because you have to order a minimum of like 250 per color. And I have maybe about like 40 of each of them left. So I haven't decided. It's going to depend on how much room there is in the van, to be honest, and how much room there is in the merch table. But if you're interested in one of those vinyl variants, hit me up, uh, and you can buy one through the store, or we can figure something out. We'll figure. I get you. I got you. All right. Can't wait to see y'all in DC. I think DC will be cool. It's interesting when people say that because it feels so far away. Because we're leaving day after tomorrow. We're leaving Wednesday to drive to Dallas. We start in Texas, and like the whole thing was routed seasonally, so we're going south first because it's January and it's fucking cold here. Um, so we're going to Texas and Florida and the Carolinas and Richmond and Atlanta and Birmingham, Alabama, and that's what we're doing for the first leg of the tour. And then the second leg of the tour is the West Coast, And then the third leg of the tour is the Northeast. And so when people say, can't wait to see you in Boston or whatever, I'm just like, oh my God, that's like 40 years from now, because like, you know, tour time is not the same as like regular day to days. But I am excited to see you all uh everywhere that we're going. But especially if you want to come out to the shows in Texas this weekend, that would be really cool. All right. There are solo versions of Break Lines in My Own Reflection and Selena on a very rare 7-inch silence. Did you always know they'd always become Get Kid songs, or were they songs that you? So those, I don't talk about those much because no, those were um they were songs I did like as acoustic demos that ended up becoming Get a Kid songs, which doesn't happen very often. It did happen on those songs. That was a question on the Substack if you want to read it. I don't have a whole lot of time left, and I want to play one more song. Um, the 95% chance of snow here in Dallas on Friday, so get in van and get out fast. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Uh, we'll be fine. I know how to drive in the snow. But all right, this is gonna be my last song. And I'm gonna play the song called "My Old Man Had a Pistol," and it's off of a record called Para Toda Vida. That was a New Amsterdam's record that will be turning 25 years old next year. So, in keeping with the same tradition as my goal is to re-record the first 3 New Amsterdam's records on their anniversaries, which is Never You Mind, Para Toda Vida, and Worse for the Wear, and release them on vinyl, because with the exception of Worse, which had like a really limited vinyl, the other ones didn't have any vinyl at all, and I don't own the rights to them, so I can't um press them. I just don't. I'm not allowed to. So yeah. Anyway, so this is a song called "My Old Man Had a Pistol," and this is sort of, if you're a songwriting nerd, then it's like this is a song that's just like completely fictional. This isn't about me at all. It's actually not even about anybody that I know. My wife was in school and she had a photography professor who had done this photo essay book that was about poor families in the South, like very like rural poor, like no indoor plumbing kind of poor. And so it was very striking photographs. And so I had this sort of idea of a character from, like, looking at a picture of this like kid who I just was like, surely they could want to get out of this situation. Like, it was sort of like trying to write from the perspective of like someone I didn't know, like a completely made up. I mean, they're a real person, but I don't know anything about them. So I was just sort of like trying to like write from that perspective. And so this is about a song about someone who's trying to like get out of a situation, like get out of, it's like one day we'll get out of this hellhole town or something like that. So anyway, this will be my last song, and hopefully I don't fuck it up. My old man had a pistol, never carried around, never taught me to use it, yeah. There's no blood on the ground, images of a family somewhere deep in the South. Wish that girl taking pictures, yeah, drag me out. Stand inside, knees fall to the ground. I pray, take me far away from everything that I am. Must have lost all my memories, I must have blacked them all
ashes, yeah. They burn in the house, stand inside. Knees fall to the ground. I pray, take me far away from everything that I am. I pray, take me far away from everything that I am. Escape is the only way now. Escape is the only way now. Escape is the only way now. Only way now.
All right. Thank you very much for coming out. That was my last song. I do this every Monday, and this is the last one before leaving for the tour. And so the next time I do this, next Monday, I will be on the road. So we'll see how that goes. Be coming to you live from a hotel room somewhere between Houston and Tampa. So if you got any good suggestions there on the Gulf of Mexico, which I'm not going to call the Gulf of America because that's ridiculous. But the yeah, the tour starts Thursdays. The first show's in Dallas. You can go to my website and get tickets. I hope that you'll come out. Oh, that reminds me. The Dallas show, I guess they're doing like a 2-for-1, like a BOGO kind of thing for that show. So if you want a good deal, uh, come to that show. And, I hope that people come out. And if it ends up being a really small show, then we'll just fucking rock out together. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really do appreciate you guys coming. I like doing this. I like the questions, and I like the kind of the sense of community. And I hope that we can continue to do this, and I hope that it's something that maybe you look forward to on your Monday night, which is certainly something that I do. I look forward to it. I really do. So yeah, I'll see you guys out on the road, and if not, I'll see you on next Monday. Until then, be well, take care, bye bye.